Oh, very good. Hello.
There we go.
Great. And but I might leave early again today, so
Okay.
like half hour before.
Good evening, team. Good evening. This must form our calendar circle tonight. Very nice. 1, 2, 3, 4. 1, 2, 4. 4. 4. 4. Over the shoulder. 4. 2. 4. 2, 4, 5. 1, 2, 3, 4, 5. 3, 4, 5. 2, 3, 4, 1, 2, 4, 2. Two, 1, 2, 1, 2, 3, 4. 2, 2, 2, 2, 1, 2, 1, 2, 3, change. 1, 2, 7, 3, 4. 1, 2, 3, 4. 1, 2, 3, 4. 1, 2, 3, 4. Okay, you're right. Do it too? And your 8 ways. 8 ways, okay? These are the centers, that's our starting point. 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6, 7, 8. That was you. 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6, 7, 8. Now, other folks are for you. 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6, 7, 8. Very good. 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6, 7, 8. Good. Okay. Just a little turn your wrist as you jelly down. Just really get past your thigh. One, two, 1, 2, 1, 2, 1, 2, 1, 2, 3, 4. 1, 2, 1, 2, 1, 2, 1, 2, 1, 2, 3, hold. Ah, we'll do another 1. 1. And stop with that. Stop here. That's good. That's much better. And you. Okay. 1, 2, stop. Okay. Thank you very much. Okay, so I on. 1, 2, 3, 4. 1, 2, 3, 4. 1, 2, 3, 4. Okay, and no, I can do everything. Okay, so ready? 1, 2, 3, 4. 1, 2, 3, 4. 2, 3, 4. This is why so they're supposed to be up council. Ah, okay. Go down and that one change. Stay. So the first one is for our remote audience. Just create space. Just show you as opposed to rolling off. So 1, snatch a little bit. 1. And the next one. So we bring our hands up. At this point, it wants to stop me lifting any further. I can't. So I have to turn my wrists over. So I lift. I'm in the way at the moment. I can't throw, so I have to get out of the way. Create space to roll. Okay. So we'll be throwing into the center. 1, 2, 3, 4. 1, 2, 4. 1, 2, 3, 4. Okay, so what we do is we plug into the center. Turn over again. Where her arms start, stand up straight, and where they finish in relation to her head is what we want. So we don't want that. We don't want this to be a football throw. We're moving in relation to ourselves. It's our center we're dropping. So if I attempt to do this with my arms, it becomes really hard work. He can feel me try and he can stop me. If I don't do anything with my arms, I just pull down. There's not much for him to feel other than that destabilization of his center.
And also, like the weight is actually disappearing downwards.
Yes.
Not just stabilization. It's like something is completely emptying me forward.
Exactly. So if we're never doing it with strength, we're always just allowing our body to use gravity, really. So when we finish up, that's better. I can test here. And I can test here. If you go a little bit further. So, good self-regulation on Nick's part. He knew when to stop and when he'd be overbalanced. So it is a good exercise for that. It's not just a question of how deep can you go because you become unstable. It's what can you do and stay stable. Want to have a go? into the centre of the course, where everybody can see. That's brilliant. She loves being right. One, two, yeah. Okay, so you put one foot side. I like to put it right across because that gives me stability. If I just bring it to my foot, it's a bit like tightrope walking.
Yeah.
It becomes difficult. If I just move it inside, it's still going to hit my bum. So I like to bring it right across. So I've got a nice stable base here. Yeah. How's that feel? Better? Did you go a little deeper then? Move on then. Yeah. Good. So you can go all the way down on your knees, of course. So let's try that. That probably feels a lot more stable, right? So there's a lot more down in it too.
But you cannot really go cross-legged in that respect. You have just gonna basically just go down.
Come on.
It does feel weird.
All right, so the exercise we're going to do is more or less to our fingers tonight. Okay, so without touching, basically there's going to be the pushing pull. So as I come in, you're reflecting what I'm going on with me. So don't want to touch. If we touch, it's like that game at the fair with the electricity. You're trying to get the circle along the electricity. Yeah,
You
no,
get zapped.
no touching. Yeah. So am I going to zap you or are you going to respond? Well, you've been electrocuted around 4 times so far.
There's no wooden.
Okay, so that's the exercise. That's what I'm doing. So the purpose of this exercise is to get a blend between the two partners, so they're really following each other's energy. It's very good for that. But there's also an element of give and take. I mean, it could be give and take, but one hand's giving and one hand's taking. So there's receiving and giving, which are key elements of our Aikido. And you remember we did a session on yin and yang. And you could translate those two as yin being the receiving and yang being the giving. So one of these appointed is the leader, the other one is just trying to follow. So if you both have a go?
Yeah.
We'll change now, please.
Okay, and as you tune into each other, then you can speed it up a little bit. Yeah. Okay, so just one observation here. I'm going to be with you. So what do you see about me now? Oh, you look crap. So I'm not really relaxed. So it's really hard to pay attention to him because I'm in this terrible posture. So if we start the exercise, right, there's some space between us now. That's kind of good about that. So you can do this. So I give myself a little bit more space. So I'm not trying to watch his hands. I'm actually trying to focus on Nick.
Soft gaze. Because for going to see the eyes either, it's not like
Yeah, it's trying to take you all in and work from that. I'm not saying it's perfect, but try that. Automatically, it looks like you've got a good relationship going on here. And it really does look like you're tied together. If you wanted to drop your body down at the same time you're dropping your hands, you could do that. So when you see Aikido done well, it should look like they're one creature, pretty much, that there's just one mind between them. So this very simple exercise, we want that reflected in the way we do technique. So, for example, let's come into grab it. All right, slowly. So as he comes in to take, I take a step back. As he goes down on me, I go down on him. As he wants to rise up, I rise up with him. Now he's still slightly unstable, so he wants to settle back down, so I follow that as well. And I stay with his body until he reaches the ground. What I don't do, when I come to this, it's not that. It should look the same as the exercise they just did, where we're kind of tied together as we do this. If Nick wants to up the speed a bit, so I don't know what speed he wants to come in. I just have to be tied to him before we started. So just if you just place yourself there, I'm not tuning into him now. Too late. I'm with him now. So I've created that unity and bond before the trouble arrives. Okay. Just checking in that you can hear me and it's making sense. Okay, good. If you want to ask questions at any time, just come off mute and talk loudly and I'll come across. In fact, again, here, we're going to start from here, then drawing out the pressure, because you know you're too near that wall. So kind of, you've got to, in this situation, you enter in and either the back's off or he attacks. Right, so that helps you make sure you're going to attack. That's nice. Excellent. So now take the center ground again. What you might do is you might come to there or here or there, somewhere like that, so you know you've got plenty of space, you don't have to back up. So part of this is not just being aware of your partner, it's being aware of the space. You need to know where you can go and move safely. And you need to know where you are in relation to any other moving parts. There could be another person that's about to attack you. I think it was kind of like a stop. Because you got to there and then you went again. Try and make it all one. And in. Don't think just let just in. Yeah. You don't have to worry about going down.
I'm trying not to move before I'm doing this and kind of like, so it's taking the balance and then move. That move forward.
I think it goes in a kind of as one piece, so it comes slowly. And back, and it's coming up, I'm entering in at the same time. What I don't want to do is this. And then
Yeah, that's huge.
yeah, those are. I'm shifting with you. Yeah, so initially that movement is just me bringing my center forward as opposed to taking a step. Because if I take a step, actually, you can hit me.
Well, that's actually taking your leg up.
Well, that as well. Whatever you feel you can do, right? But there, your balance is slow. Now, I don't want to wait here. I will carry it straight on through. Right? So there's kind of an automatic shift back and an automatic shift forward, which leads into the step. It's that moving this. The backward movement is started by our center coming back, and then our feet, and it starts going forward by our center going in, and then our feet moving.
think, however, what you're saying is slightly more advanced. Because if you miss on the timing, then the other person will come in. So what I was trying to do, perhaps again thinking the technique a bit more, is kind of like make sure that the uterus balance is completely broken at this point, then I can move forward. Because otherwise, if you did almost halfway, but my balance was completely broken. But if somebody doesn't achieve that, and will just has to go forward, then it will actually backfire.
The other thing I would say is, I've just explained 4 parts to that going back and coming forward. So hips, feet, But in reality, it's just one move really. It's seamless. It's not stop here, stop here, stop here, stop here. They're useful points to freeze frame and point out to you as an audience that the reality is it's one seamless take.
There should be stoppages.
Exactly.
Absolutely. It's up to us to find the.
She's determining the speed of the cinema. You're just moving the image. Now you're determining the speed of the action.
Too much.
Nice. Okay, good. All right, so a very obvious one to look at when you're doing this giving and receiving is Shomanuchi Aikido. So if it looks like this, smash. Okay, am I really receiving? No, I'm not. I'm trying to stop. I don't want to receive this, and it's very clear from the way I'm doing this. No, you can't come in. And that's me shutting the door on him. Actually, I want him to really express that. I don't want to stop it. I want to go with it. And now he wants to continue the movement from up, we get it down. So that's when we receive the up, and we help him with the down. That's our giving. I've said this before, but I don't need to I don't need to take this step. It's dangerous, actually. He can't hit me until he can hit me. He can't hit me there, he can hit me now. So my timing is all determined by when he's entering my space. If I'm too late, even if I stop this hand, I'm open to that hand. But if I get this right, I've just turned his body enough to be safe. That's when you fully receive the gift that he's giving. And you don't really get an opportunity to give back, which we all like to do. We like when we give a present, we kind of want to give one back. So if you don't let him give to you properly, it's very hard to give a nice gift back. It's like a badly wrapped present. Okay, off you go. Double chestnut.
Yeah, that's supposed to be slightly more very much.
Nice. Make sure you control his elbow as well as the Just from our okay perspective, you're just going to control the top hand. And let's see what Nick can do.
Then slowly, because I know it's not going. And then also.
So if you're talking about which is the more important bit to control, it's not that one, because if you drop his elbow and he can hit me, you can just slide off that and enter. So really what I want to do is I want to stop that. That's the more important part. I want to catch that on the up. Then here it's now a battle of strength, really, depending on how much momentum he's got behind him to determine whether we just get both bad and bruised or I get killed. I want to pick it up. when his elbow just in front of his head, he's reached the full height of the power that he's going to bring down on you. Yep.
It's the same for knife as well. You cannot allow the knife to slip the hands and come straight to you, so it has to be up.
Preferably pointing
Yeah,
slightly
well, yeah,
away
so
from
when
you.
you
If it's going to drop down in your eye, not mine. That sounds good.
Come on.
Very nice, that's timing. I think if you were watching the angle on Laura's body there, it would look good. Very slight criticism, which is like, before you even started, you were kind of, there's someone with a sword in front of me. No, enter into it. Enjoy it.
It works almost like teasing the person.
Yes. Yeah, absolutely. You're saying, oh look, there's a big target here. Not bad. That's hard to hit. He's going to come up with a different thing. You're really saying, oh, there it is. Well, when you have the confidence to embrace it, you know what's coming because you are sending an invitation. So a skilled martial artist is the opening. There's an opening, but it's a different one.
Without close easily. Okay.
That looks better. And you look more. They don't know what result. You think you look like you meant it.
Yeah, you know, so it's good. Yeah.
Very nice. Very good. The paint teachers didn't have a chance to practice. It's slightly painful, Laura. I can't believe it. That's more like a pencil.
Extra smile.
So on both sides, the attitude's important. Laura has to give everything on that attack. I'm not talking about speed or power. I'm just talking, all of her goes into it. She wholeheartedly is embracing the attack. And he's wholeheartedly receiving it and receiving it actually with joy, if anything. Not with resentment that she's getting cross with him and trying to attack him, but with joy. Not easy to do in life. You're done. Okay, so the optimum is coming. So he's coming in, and when he finishes the attack, you finish it. Yeah, it's going to finish. There we go. So here, there's rather than just a straight step backwards, it's an extra complication. I have to twist a bit, and then it's effectively the same nature, which can lead to other things. Yeah, he did a good thing. He sensed that I was anticipating it, didn't attack them, waited until I didn't quite give him enough to do it. And then I realized that I came back.
If you stepped out, then I would have attacked me.
I know you would. Oh. Very nice. So maybe a statement of the obvious, but what you see, what the audience sees, in techniques like this is a lot of movement from the arms, but actually it's the center that's doing all of this move, creating all the power. Really the arms just following his energy, you're just riding it, but the hips are creating the throw.
That was awesome.
Okay, so now you can put in a Sankyo.
Well, that's pretty good at least.
Yeah,
Right, so then
and
we'll-
then you start throwing in a few new variants.
All right.
I'm quite incompetent. Nice! You just do the original one first.
I know. Just took it. Well, just letting me just took up.
Okay, just an observation. So come slowly over. Well, coming quite sideways on, not of hip turn, but too far really. Okay. If I'm here and I allow to finish her through, it's going to be on the original line she came in. I want to just off that line. Yeah, and that's going to turn her that little bit more. So if she stops where she wants to stop, okay, test, pretty resilient. But if I can just turn you that bit more, you're not so resilient, are you? So it's that adding just that last little bit, it stabilizes, which makes the next bit easier. If you don't sort this out. And then there's always another rush. Okay. A little bit reliant on using your wrist there rather than using your center to do the same thing. Oh, nice. He's in that mood tonight. Nick. You gotta be careful.
Everything else, good.
I didn't think that was a technique, but we can practice that if you want.
Here's a- Which one first?
Yeah, good. Down the mat.
Sorry.
It's okay.
Was it work somewhere?
It did work.
You had your back to it, but that was a Nicky, it was a nice one too. So a lot of these techniques, when we do Nikio, it's often very common to place it into the shoulder like this, and nothing wrong with that at all. I mean, you know, he's here. He's definitely not. What I am doing is I am receiving and adding to the gift. Okay, so I'm not just trying to hold him away. Yeah, his energy is coming in, and I say, "Oh, that's nice, thank you. I have that. I can use that." And then when he takes it away, that all comes to it because I follow that as well. But if you think about it, if you place it in here, there isn't this thing to think about. And it doesn't mean to say you haven't got time to do the shoulder technique, but do we really need to risk it? I don't think so. So I prefer to do the Nikio in these situations from the fingertips. Okay, so there's the back of his hand. If I push the back of his hand, and I am going to, you tell me when to stop, I can push really quite hard, and he's still standing there. He may have got uncomfortable, but he's still there. And that's not really the end of his world. The end of his world is here. That's where I want to get to. I want to extend from there. So now I'm not really applying any force, but he's decided that, you know, he's getting his own medicine, so to speak. There's the energy going to him. I'm having to say, oh, should we go in that direction, Nick? So I'm literally taking what he's giving me and redirecting it. I'm taking what he was giving me, and in the down, I flipped it over, and then I'm giving it back to him. Yeah, so let's try that version. It's just quicker and safer. Look back a bit more. Come down.
I just keep going
Come
with
down a
that slowly. Ah, sorry. Messed it up. Sorry.
Obviously, if you have this, I mean, it's gone wrong,
Yeah.
right? So I've got the opportunity to that. He knows that and I know that. That's okay. I can be patient. I don't need to point that bit out to him.
Yeah.
It's what can he do now? Okay. So he's doing what I was doing, saying, don't do this. He's pushing. So if he pushes, even if he gets to the end of my fingers and he's pushing on my knuckles, I can take a lot of that. Actually, I'm going to really receive it this time. So now, as I extend ki, it doesn't hurt at all. If I'm not extending ki and you just build it up, it does begin to hurt, right?
Yeah.
But if I actually take what he's giving me really into my center, this doesn't hurt. It just doesn't, because I'm truly receiving it. So anyway, that element of resistance, usually they'll break through and it does hurt. Okay.
How about you go here? So at this point, it's a bit more.
It's a bit more.
Okay.
So, right, so now you've proven that brute strength maybe won't work. Thank you.
Yeah. Oh, yeah. So from here to this.
Okay, so my job is to follow where he leads me. So again, slowly,
Yeah.
nice. It's going forward. So I will go forward. But he knows where he wants me to go. He's down. So if he wants me to go down, he has to put his energy down. All right.
No, I'm almost.
Okay, so it does look like the troubling baby scene. Down, up. I'm kind of already there with this hand. Maybe on that hand. Guys are doing something weird.
Yeah, bring it too high.
One.
Just leave it there.
Yeah, I don't need the other one. Well, I think both of you are doing something like this. And then you're moving this hand to there, and you know, all that creates, it's too slow.
Yeah.
Both of you are feeling that a little bit. Oh, boom. There we go. And it may not be obvious, but I've slid it up and I'm thinking of the ends of the fingers. If I think of where I'm touching the back of her hand, it doesn't work. But it slides over that, and it goes back to her.
Spiral inwards.
Yeah, not so much thinking spirals, but perhaps I'm a lousy spiral thinker. I'm giving and I'm receiving and I'm giving.
Movement forward and twist as well.
A little twist, a little bit, a little bit.
Okay, one more. There's no twist.
Yeah, there's one. It's better, but it's not perfect yet. Just one piece.
Right.
Now.
Right. Now you're done.
Yeah. Good. Yeah. Yes, doesn't he say there isn't enough?
Yeah.
You can create enough, because otherwise you'll find it. I'm sorry, okay, you got that.
It's too high, I think.
Perhaps don't exaggerate too much.
I think first time you actually moved your center up. Sleep underneath.
Okay.
Just a bit less.
So I'm lifting it to here, maybe. Oh. Yes, that was nice. You're getting a little bit of a bounce there.
Yes.
And I think when you allow him to come up a bit, it creates the momentum for the rest of the movement.
I think what also happened was that the movement went down, but did not bounce up. It was just the hand, and then the body continued going down. So it's going down, 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 down all the time. And we're going down, up, and down again at this point, because I'm trying to also attack in a very linear fashion as well. So there's no point of carrying up, at least with
That's how you felt. Very nice. They like each other, really. Yeah, okay. Let's keep things just slowly. I'm encouraging the Mineski because I'm opening my hips up and giving him a big target to go for. If I was like this, he's going to think twice about coming for this bit. He might aim for my face, but unlikely to because it's easier for me to sort of take it offline. So if you really want to hook them into doing a Mineski, you open right up. Okay. And I definitely don't try and stop it. That's just stupid. Okay, so I want to fully receive it and appreciate the direction of that. Okay, so I want him to think, got him, so much so that I suck him in. Okay, so I'm not doing anything with my hands. He's showing me to put his hand back because he's not, if he's a proper attacker, he's thinking about the next thing, the first attack move missed, right? Okay, but I receive it and then I have to. So if he's doing that in slow motion as he's coming through, that helps. And now I'm continuing the motion. So you can see he's extending from his hand and I'm blending with that. This helps if my hips weren't quick enough. This keeps him away from me. It also creates the space for the movement. And now if he did try to pull that, I can move with it. If I've done this right, he wants to take that extra step to get his balance back. Now we've started off the whole movement. I don't know if it's shown on the camera. I might do from this angle. Oh, I keep this quite close to me. Can you see there's no gap between my arm and I do that? Can you see how much more, how he stabilized when I let this arm come away from my body? And how I put him tipping forward when it's in front of my center and away from his center. He desperately wants to get back to there. And I'm very happy to keep him here. So as he takes a step forward, I'll take a step forward. Oh, damn. Oh, yeah. Okay, off we go.
I think there's an extra element that perhaps you need to explain. Not only that you have your hand correctly positioned, but also every time that you turn, if you've done it right, in your hip, I've got my arm locked. So as you turn, I actually feel your body turning me. So there's an extra element of
It generates a lot of reason for him to come round. Does it hurt though?
well, I'm
What
following.
if you stay still?
If I say still, then will definitely hurt.
Okay. But it definitely creates momentum to bring him round. Yes?
Yeah.
Now, look at the distance he has to travel around to get that next opportunity. Now look at how little distance I used to travel to bring him round. Yep, so the tighter the turn, the more power you generate.
Definitely, yeah.
Probably too much then.
Yeah. Not to be again, measured.
Yeah. You're working with what you get. The more intense the attack, the more intense the response. You know, the giving and the receiving have to match up. Just a fraction one, just a fraction. Good, it was. So. Slowly, please. Outside. Okay, so this is here. If I bring it to here, it's my hand's really close to my belly button, and I create. There's no room to do this. You can see that I feel awkward. I'm trying to create space for this because I haven't created enough space for the first place. If I keep that becomes the center of the room. This is giving me the space. Now it's also giving him the space to attack again, which is great because that's create the threat.
Because I see that as a variation. Doesn't have to be, again, it has to be nice Kokyu outputs.
Yeah, okay, but you definitely want to make it, I don't want to be stretching out,
Yeah.
definitely. I don't want to feel tight. My elbows are just slightly behind me. There's a halfway house. And actually, where you placed your hands, that's the right place for you to be doing this technique.
So would it be not like that, like a line, like more?
Yeah, because that's,
So there's at least.
yeah, you've got your
piece.
perfect triangle. Yeah, and everybody's come on will look slightly different, right? Because you all got different length arms and legs and all the rest of it. Yeah, definitely not reaching out. Holding the sword like this, I feel really, really vulnerable. Okay, holding it here feels stupid. Okay, if I wanted a sword, I would be here. If I were looking to defend without a sword, it would be here. Bring it down, it's still too close to one. Keep that space. Just checking in. Any questions so far? Don't forget, this one's kind of superfluous to the action. So I'm not trying to throw him with this hand. That's what everybody does. I'm actually throwing him with that. And how am I doing it? So he wants to step in to hit me, and I'm saying, oh yeah, come in. So even if I impose this on you, it will feel different. And it becomes more resistant to it. Yeah. But if I say, oh look, I'm open again, it creates the movement forward.
I have to prepare that.
Well, you don't have to. But if
Well,
you
it
don't-
doesn't work, otherwise she said, that
yeah. You do for the sake of training. But of course, if you're a real attacker, you do have the choice to just not engage with the attacker and say, oh, that's stupid, I'm not.
Yeah. I think it's difficult on the milestone.
So on the mat, you have to keep going,
Yeah.
until you're thrown when you hit it. Or get in a position where you could have been attacked. Because we don't hit yet. We stop before the hit. Do we? Yeah, we do.
Nobody has been injured before, so I'm going to keep the record. I think it's just raise your body a little bit. It's going to go slightly down. There, just down and down. Put it up. Yes. I cannot stop that. I cannot stop that. Go back. Going down, yeah.
So look where you are now. When you finish it, you should be more or less there.
Not over there. Straight lines.
We turn tables. Yeah, very nice. I know that, sorry.
Got started.
Down that again.
Yep. Keep the,
Also, the format to make come round into. That's a few more, I probably send you over to find it. You think this is it?
maybe that was this.
That would be acceptable, yeah, that's more. So just experiment, right? So if you take them down, and your back's bent forward, so you have to sit up. There, can I get up? Get up from there, okay? And if you're right on top of me, you're standing nice and straight.
Yeah, because of course I'm more, the structure is close to you.
Your gravity's coming
Yeah.
pouring down on me. It's
And let me go
hitting me
slightly-
to the ground.
Yeah. I'm leaving it open, yes.
Like I'm afraid. Oops.
Too late.
Yeah.
There's a counter on this one, as you did. If you do the yellow, I will do it.
Oh, lucky you.
You want me now to do it again.
Right, nice, okay. So here you go. If I kind of don't accept wholeheartedly what's going on here, it's pushing from behind, okay. But I kind of resist that, it's nigh on impossible. If you do it just a little bit slower. Okay, so here I am relatively nice and upright. Now I've lost my posture, everything is, I'm completely blown. So as I feel that, that's what should happen. Let's just disappear. Oh, then I appear behind you. So by receiving his energy, it doesn't just stop when I go down, he's still going forward. The momentum takes him past me. So my job is just to move with it, bob down and bob up.
That's actually good.
Did you have a body?
Yeah.
You need to go down straight. So if there's any movement of that upper body forward, yeah, you would get face planted. I'm not going to face plant you, which is good. Down. You could have done more, but at least you get your body aligned and you're behind. Because you're shorter, you don't have to go down so far. Sorry, bring that up. Not really. So, do you know why that's happening? Because you're going on and you think, I ought to go down now, and why you're thinking that, and you haven't done it, I'm still going forward, then you're out of alignment.
Yeah, you
You
stop
have
for
to
a
do
split second.
1, 2, down,
Yeah.
up. Off you go. So you do it without you there.
Now you've got to do it without thinking about it.
You have. You can't be thinking, and now it's the down moment.
Almost like to take the steps down to this one.
We're only one step. Yes, Ministry of City Walks time.
Easiest way, you find your glory.
That's what we do. And from there,
From there.
Nice. Okay, so if you looked at the direction of my arm, what direction is it traveling as you try to do this?
It's been traveling that direction.
Okay, is my hand moving in further forward or is it going directly down? Yes. So you'll never get to the down part. Where do you want to go? Yeah. So if you're thinking, so if I'm thinking that to go forward to go down, we'll never get to the down. The only sense in which there's a forward part is that my fingers roll around. But I don't want to move her arm forward because she'll feel that. As she is, and then we'll never get there. I've got to roll around that.
Let's say, a question, maybe that also for the benefit of the audience. How is your center compared to the audience? How are you approaching that position? You can get just,
Yeah.
to be, I can see a specific angle, but I'm not sure that, anyone can see it.
So it's like she's hitching to the wagon here. So our centers become one at this point in time. So they stay one throughout. I'm still guiding the center and I go down and up and continue with my movement forward. So just as we get to the behind part when I'm here, if my movement is from my upper body forward, then I've decoupled, we're no longer center to center. Here we're center to center. I know that as she goes down, her body will go forward, so my center starts to move forward, her center starts to move forward. Now, I'm not so much thinking about my center, then thinking in Aikido usually goes wrong. It just has to be what naturally comes out. But I'm still linked with all. Since I decouple and try to do stuff, you felt it, right? But I'm still partnering with her. I mean, that's not a conscious thing. That's just the way I want to be here. So when I move my center, her center's moving. You can see destabilizing her, and I just follow that movement.
It's like at right angles, it seems. It's kind of like moving completely off the present.
But obviously, I'm not facing like that. We're effectively like that.
At a small angle.
Well, we're side by side, really. I mean, I'm very slightly behind her, but I'm not trying to get anywhere like that. It's more I just coupled my center to hers. When my center moves, her center moves, because I've joined them. So if we think about stop thinking Aikido, we start thinking relationships. So we're a couple, right? We're going to go this way. I'll tell you what, that's going to be a lousy relationship. We're never going to get anywhere. That's going to split very soon. But it's like this. This is beautiful. Let me show you this part. You know, it's a very together thing. And I've joined together with this person to move with them. Because I care about them and I care about the thing I want to show them. It's important to me, and so she kind of feels that. There's nothing to resist, but I'm not trying to fight her. She can feel that tenderness, if you like. Whatever your brain's thinking, your body's saying, this feels okay. Okay. Just checking in again, did that make sense?
It makes sense, but can you possibly look at the same technique if you are in seated position and you can't move?
You're going to have to speak a bit louder, Vitali.
Sorry, yeah. Can you hear me?
Yeah, but you have to be noisy.
Okay, it's kind of complicated to be nosy.
Go for it.
Okay, can you hear me now?
I can hear you now.
Okay, good. So can you look at the same technique if you are in seated position and you can't actually move and you're getting pushed from the behind?
Uh-huh. Well, where are you being pushed from behind? So you mean like if you're in a wheelchair
Yeah, yeah,
and the brakes
exactly.
were on?
Yes.
It would be difficult because I mean, you can't drop down like I can drop down. That would
Yeah.
be problematical. I don't know. Let's try something. I'll try it from the ground. Okay, so what do I do if I can't move? I'm sitting in a wheelchair, the brakes are on, and I can't lower the wheels. Okay, so if I try to resist that, I get flattened. That's not good.
That's a faster way going down.
So, okay, if someone were to jump on my back now, I'd be in trouble, right? But he's trying to push me over. I let that happen. Before he knows it, he's gone too far. So that's what I do, Natalia. I would let my back reflect his movement. Okay? Okay, you want to try that?
Yeah.
Immediate.
Yes. So you can only use what you've got, but the principle is to be non-resistant, to blow with the wind. So that's why it's a good question, because do I do my techniques from there normally? So to answer the question, I have to go back to principles to give you the answer.
Really immediate. Suppose what keeping works.
Could it not be done by that action coming around the body, like so you're going there and down?
Well, it could be, but we were specifically starting the technique from being attacked directly from behind.
Right, so you're being
It was always
attacked,
going to
so-
be forwards.
yeah, so you need to go over the top, wouldn't they? Either,
Yeah, for
Yeah.
this one. Yeah.
yeah, you couldn't really, unless you cut round in a Ikkyo Sankyo position, or even any position like that, and just cut to the floor diagonally. That should solve that. Should do.
Yeah, we were showing Ikkyo, but obviously from Ikkyo you can get to Sankyo and Nikkyo and Donkyo and all that stuff.
Yeah. But
You're attacking my shoulders.
it's as if you're throwing something behind you.
You're attacking, you're pushing here. I try to resist that. It's really difficult. So don't resist.
Otherwise,
I really want to be here. No, this is not the way I spend my life sitting when I'm down on my knees. I can do that. And the thing is that by moving in that way, I take him further out than I am. So now he's really overstretched. So now I can steer this car very easily. Hold him. Good. So he's down to push too much, just enough. So there's something there. So
we'll look at that over the weekend.
now, because he's totally stable, he's not in forward mode. I need to bring him out from this great structure. So I receive it.
Yep.
Now it's very easy to steer the car. Let's try something different. It's not, I just was playing with the wrist, and you can do stuff. Definitely you can, But really, this is where the steering wheel position, it's easier to steer the car from here. That's where you want to go. Again, if I try and yank this, I can't do it. I have to make him concentrate on this movement here, so that he's not thinking about what I'm subtly doing there. All his mind is on that movement. And if I don't do anything now, I'm gone. So I let that happen, and now I've got something I can do. Try. First action is always to fully receive his attack or her attack. Yes.
Yes.
Don't grab your toes. No, chest out.
I'll tell you yes.
See what you're doing.
A little bit more.
Your tongue might be slightly low. It's stuck. You must be careful. One side or the other.
Doesn't quite reach the, that's inverted speed. Okay, that's the, come on.
My feet is on it.
Yes. Because my center is actually in front of my knees and then I'm going.
Slightly behind or something. No, I can't. So I need to get his center beyond his knees.
Yeah.
Now it's very easy.
Thank you. Good try. Here you come. First one.
So for me, Aikido is all about feel. I am not thinking, is his center slightly beyond his knees? I'm just responding to what I feel to get my timing and my technique. But when you get this conscious knowledge that Nick's helped us find, then that's useful because then you can look at a video or a partner practicing and thinking, oh yeah, that's because his center wasn't beyond his knees. You can learn to be a bit more patient. So you can learn from others' mistakes as well as your own.
As long as you start turning before my attack reaches the ground, I think that's okay.
Oops!
Literally.
That's
It's
called
a fine line.
steamrollering.
Yes. Yeah.
It's beautiful to watch, team, but not as you want it to be.
I think I left it to the ground.
Okay. just okay, I don't know. Okay, so but I think this is okay. So you're going back and then you're reaching up and then it's kind of too late.
Okay.
As I'm going that way, I've already taken control of the steering wheel. I'm not trying to alter the angle of the steering wheel, but I'm on it. And I think we're just a bit late to bring your hands up. See if that makes a difference for you. It's a way of connecting and gives you the timing.
Suppose just connect now.
It was a better result than before, that's for sure. Because you were in a position to recover sooner than she was.
Yeah.
Okay. Any requests?
Maybe a little bit of eating maybe?
So here, where's the receive? I bring it into me, and then I give it back to him. Notice I continue the line of the energy. So I'm not trying to break the line of the energy. He doesn't want to go that way. He wants to go that way. But I can go up, or I can go down, I can go to the side, or I can go that side. So what I do is I actually come up, that will bring him, brings him forward now. His balance is gone. The center throws. Again, we see this whirl of arms, and everyone thinks it's this. And yeah, sure enough, I could maybe hit him in the face. Maybe that would work. Maybe it's very martial, it's punching in the face.
But I could also provide the
Right,
resistance at this point.
I don't resist. I let him go where he wants to go. So he's taking my arm this way, but notice how I keep it in front of my center. And then I redirect it still in front of my center. It's unbalanced. So the more he goes forward, the more he's creating that. So even if he has the sense to stop, I then add to remove it. I'm only doing that with one hand, but of course I would come here.
Yes.
Yep. I don't, you can slide away from here. You don't have to continue that attack, that's fail.
Yeah, you'll just go underneath.
Yeah. And here now he's committed to this.
Yeah.
Yeah. See, we always want commitment, don't we, guys? All right. Okay. And girls too, of course. Renault's still there.
That's heavy.
So you let me draw that round to the control the other hand. I know I've made this point on a number of occasions, but you can never make it enough, okay? Come on, don't get away with that. So if you grab someone's head, you try and pull it to your shoulder, people will resist like crazy because that's a horrible thing to happen. You know, it feels like you really are in danger, but if I caress it. So it really is a caress. It's really hard to resist, isn't it? But now she's here, she's connected to me. It's very hard to get away, isn't it? This helps the throw, really. So the more gentle you can be, the easier the throw can be. So there's a lot of power in it, but it's not strength or speed, it's just extending so that you can blend with your partner.
I think for me, I tend to see it like an elastic band, that you actually extend at this point and then down let go.
Yes.
You know, for keep the tension like warm and kind of still holding.
Yes, definitely. I'm stretching the elastic band at your end, but to do that, I've got to be extending with you, moving with you to create that feeling.
I suppose you bring back the control.
Yeah, if you think, what's she trying to do? She's trying to extend my elastic band. But because I'm being sensitive and aware, she never gets to extend my elastic band, but I get to play with her elastic band. We're going to play that.
Yeah.
Try to make sure this isn't spraying out to the side, staying in your center. Yes. From the opposite. So good? Feel more control? So that's kind of interesting. What you do is you come down to here. Well, now he's on top of you and you're wondering why it's hard to come back up. His original direction is that way. You want to draw him through, you don't want to do it the way, you don't want to. That way, yeah. That's where you want to go. Just thinking on my feet then. So if you did go down, I shouldn't be doing that technique.
Mhm.
I should just go down. Yeah. We're not trying to show that one.
Yeah. I'm trying to gain practice, you know, to attack with the hand.
Yeah, absolutely.
Or like stab or something like that.
Yeah.
And so it's not the other one. This one.
This is what we know we're doing real Aikido. Okay, so Nick's supposed to be coming with that hand to do this technique, but he forgot that, and he came with that hand. So it's no good me saying, "Oh, but you're not supposed to do that." I should be acting on principle. Oh, you're not that way. Really hard to not program your brain to be thinking about the thing that you've been told you're going to be practicing. But even what you really want to do is you want to have an open enough mind to say, well, if the attack comes as it's supposed to, I can practice that technique, but have no preconceptions because okay, don't necessarily listen. The criticism. We know that okay, they get a set of instructions, but how they interpret those instructions can be something very different. That's why we want to practice with so many people because their interpretations and their energy is all different. They bring different things to the party. Okay. Oops. Where are we trying to do it?
I'm trying.
Just try it again. It's not so much an action as a process. Nice.
Sorry. Close and definitely.
So, why would I grab this? I want to be able to control him. Right? So maybe I've got a mate behind me, so knife him or push him over a cliff, or who knows. I definitely don't want him to be able to go to his weapons. I grab these and actually he's already sensed that as soon as I grabbed, there's lots of things he can do. So when I take, actually it's different.
No, a lot.
Right. Okay, so you don't know this, but I am holding really lightly, aren't I?
Yep.
But you can feel my powers kind of already going through.
If I'm too late, then I'll do.
Yeah. So what he can't feel is very hard to resist. So this attack makes more sense when you know, why would someone grab your front hands? And it makes more sense when you think of it like that. Okay. So if I let him join up with me and begin to take control of my body, I get in trouble. But as he joins up with me, I join up with him. Now that did not go as I originally thought it would. So I adjusted because that's what we have to do. That went more like I was planning. So I receive it fully. I let him express that full entry, but now it's ended up with him being unstable. So again, I could throw from my center. Which I will. So I get out of the way. That's probably too exaggerated to make a point, right? So You know, I don't want to be in this line, but I could do other techniques. If I wanted to stay on the line, but on this particular one, unless it's going through, I have to just take a step off. So I'm not going to do it with my hands. But you'll imagine my hands are out this grab because I can't show my legs that much. Yeah, that's fine. So what I'm doing with my feet is this one moves, the front one moves off the line, but I leave that pretty much intact initially. We'll follow up in a second, but the initial move is just to make space for him. Now I'm starting to move that back again. Now, because I want to really end up, I want to end up right close. And I want there to be a gap between us that will feel different to him. I want to be here. Yeah. But I don't want him to think I'm disappearing completely. I'm just. And you know, if you need to step forward to go with your partner, you would. But I didn't on that occasion because he followed through and he was very unstable.
Yeah, because if I'm staying static, then you must.
I would have to wait.
Yeah.
This one, the acceptance. Well, I'm not here. This is not accepting. This is saying, stay away, stay away. To embrace this, I'm saying, yes, come on in. So I open this space up, just in front of him. Bring him to me so that we can unite and we can work together. Okay.
In a lot of kids.
Okay, so I'm not wrong, but I think what you're thinking of is this line, right? So although your body's doing the right thing, then your down hand and the up hand, there's nothing happening there.
Oh, this is open one.
So then it's really good. When you're entering, this is down and that's up. You have to be energetically there to stretch your upper band. So we get.
Okay.
Has to be this. Yeah, total collapse. It's not powerless, it's powerful. Okay, so I just want to make that point, right? So it's got up, this one's gone down, but he stopped coming forward now. Why? Because he can feel me wanting to get into his space. So in a way, I'm saying, no, I don't want you that close, I don't want you here. That would be really worrying. I want to keep some space, don't I? But what I really want to happen is to totally let that go. So I don't want it to go behind me, but I will let it go as far as it can go. Can you see to get that relationship right between us? Yep. So totally let it go. You didn't tell me where to go. You held it there. I said, forward. No, they're not here. It's not, we're trying to get at them before we let them in.
Someone's like a nimble attack.
So next Wednesday, we're doing a session online where we're going to explore the relationship between vulnerability and Aikido. And I deliberately put that title out because I think that's provoking. It's a provocative title. Vulnerability in Aikido. What's that got to do with it? But actually, what happens is you have to make yourself the most vulnerable. You mustn't try and say, no, that's, no, you can't come any closer than that. That's not being vulnerable. You've got to let this person right in to be able to move on and come up with a positive response. If you don't accept exactly what's going on, and that's hard in it. No, then you can't really do Aikido. So there is incredible strength in making yourself vulnerable and open. Because when you're vulnerable and open, you can feel everything that's going on. And you can connect much better when you make yourself vulnerable and open. And things can change from it. But if you just pretend it's not happening, go away. You know, in life, of course, the problems don't work like that. You know, they stay there until you really accept what's going on. And when you're at the kind of weakest point, you've really got to the bottom of what the problem is. Usually, there's an upside. You can begin to find your way out, but not until you really take it on board. That's why we need to fully receive the attack, not try and stop it, because it will only change into something else. Try and stop it, then good, okay, we'll counter with something else. While you let that fully be expressed, he's so intent on doing that that it creates openings for us to resolve the situation positively. But only because I'm fully open to that attack. Does that make sense? I hope online.
In your principle, in your.
Yeah, well, that's exactly what I wanted to explore tonight.
They know that.
Okay, so we're going to bow out with you guys. That's what I was going to say. So I let you see you from us. Facing them. Initially. Right now we have our. Yeah, we're going to go back to that. It's good. All right, so well done. Thank you very much. Done my bowing now.
Bye, guys.
Okay, so just
Thank you.
quickly before I turn off the recording, any questions or thoughts?
No,
Thank you so much. It was great. I couldn't even leave. I was supposed to, but I stayed till the end. It's pretty late already, but I'm here.
Well, sleep
Thanks.
well.
Okay.
Okay.
Thank you, guys.
Cheers.